I'm Renee Fleming, and sitting here with me are two friends and colleagues who also happen to be fellow winners of the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions. Mezzo-soprano Susan Graham and baritone Thomas Hampson. Did that take us back?
I was a nervous wreck watching the entire thing. I felt like it was me about to walk out on stage, and I thought, no, I've walked out on that stage hundreds of times. I don't have to be nervous right now, but it's so...
I took 2 Tylenol before I came over.
It really brought it back for me, too, because we forgot, you know, that was a while ago, that terror of auditioning, of competitions in particular. Susie, you and I won in the same year. We also had Ben Heppner and Heidi Grant Murphy. It was a really great year. It marked completely the start of my career. Do you feel the same way?
It was about 3 years before I made my Met debut in the role of the second lady in Magic Flute. So it wasn't like an instant, you know, burst into Metropolitan Opera stardom, but what it did for me, it gave me such an enormous sense of confidence and how I felt I finally belonged somewhere. You know, that's such a badge of honor once you have crossed that threshold into the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions and they give you the stamp of approval. That did more for my head than anything else.
It also told the rest of the world, yes, she's a contender, she might have a career. So it was great. Same for me, it was a real start. Auditioning is tough. I mean, did you overthink things ever?
I tried to just sort of go in and see it as an opportunity to perform. And that didn't always work. I remember I auditioned for Lotfi Mansouri one time for the San Francisco Opera, and it was in a whole, it wasn't in this setting, but it was in an audition space, you know, and I sang Parto Parto, and, you know, I had sung it 1,000 times, right? But I got to one part, and I forgot the words, and I started again, and I forgot the words again. I thought, that's it, I will never be hired in this opera company. Well, I got hired for the job anyway. Paralysis by analysis. I think that for a lot of young singers, it's very easy to assume that if you make one little human slip or error, your career is finished, and it isn't.
Very often when I thought I did the worst and the people hated me was when they were hiring me. I mean, they were talking because they were writing down roles.
Probably the dangerous part of the whole thing is that they're going out, you know, we're all like Cocker Spaniels going out looking for approval. And that's the part of the audition, but that's the part of the audition process I think is very, if I may say so, unhealthy. I think you have to go out and just sing, like you said. Just do what you do.
Perform.
And you really can't lose a competition that way. You can be angry with yourself that you shot yourself in the foot, but if you did what you know you can do, like when Ryan came back and said, that's it, whatever happened, that's it. If you could get to that feeling, that's the zone you want to be, because if they don't choose you, they didn't choose you. Fine, go on, tomorrow's tomorrow.
And that was something that struck me with these singers on the film. I could sort of feel, you could feel that tension in the artist area. When one of them would finish and walk back through, and, you know, maybe one person would go, great job, and everyone else kind of was like,
nice.
I had horrible stage fright, and that was a real demon, and it's appeared more once or twice since then too. But
we all have it to a certain degree.
You know, the pressure to perform, the yardstick, in that moment we're being judged. You know, we see that as so negative in a sense, when in fact, the minute you're on the other side, even in the audience, even when I'm in the audience, we're well-intentioned. The jurists are well-intentioned.
I've not had so much problem with stage fright, because I always felt better once I was doing it than waiting for it.
Absolutely.
But afterwards, this abject not hatred, but this sort of, oh, I could have done that better, I should have done that better, and you get angry, and you get, you know, and you get into this cocoon of your own working on yourself that can be very detrimental. And I think some of those kids should call me.
I mean, I became fabulous at auditioning the day I didn't need to audition anymore. That's the Murphy's Law of auditioning. What advice do you give young singers when they ask you? Because I get asked all the time. What do you tell them?
If you have to put it in a nutshell, it is the following. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Because you can have the most beautiful voice in the world, and if you bring it to the stage and you have nothing to say, nobody wants to listen. Tell us a story. Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Oh, beautiful. What do you say, Tom?
You sound like my dad. My dad always used to say that to me. Sing what you know you're singing and why you're singing it. People come to your world. You're not going out to convince anybody of anything. Go out there and be what it is that you want to be in that aria at that moment, why that person exists, relive those emotions, and let people be part of your world. You'll not be nervous. It'll be what you do.
Oh, such great advice. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you.
Thanks.
Goodbye.